Aquarius. We've been getting along better, no? It's been alright. You had the nicest thumbnail last month, that's for sure. June 3rd. I wanted to do your reading as close to the end as I could because Mars retrograde is something we need to talk about. The fact that it's going to be there for so long in your sign, and I'm sure you've heard this from like 10 million people already. Something we need to talk about. So what can I tell you that you haven't already heard? Oh, you're going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel a bit depressed. You're going to feel like things are slowing down. Yeah. We know that. King of Wands. We know that. But that's all about how you feel, right? And as we know, that's not all there is to it. What can you do with this time? How can you make it productive? What can we be thinking about? What can you, as the extremely intelligent person that you are, come up with that will make this time a joy as opposed to sluggish and weird and frustrating? What are the things that we always wish we had time for and we generally don't? What are all those pursuits for which you wish you had some brain capacity, but you usually don't? Those aspects of your life, those interests, those people, those relationships. Perhaps situations that you are avoiding just because you really don't have the mental capacity to deal with whether or not you should be with this person anymore, or if you should still be allowing that person in your life, or if you should still be, public on social media, if you should still be dealing with that family member, whatever it is that you've been pushing away. It's got to resolve itself. See, it's not weird coincidence that your lives have been confusing, tumultuous, painful, and now Mars comes into your sign for such a long time. You need the boost, but you need the pullback before the boost. Six of Wands, Two of Cups. Very, very good chances during what is being touted as a not so positive period that you will in fact do very well. That's a card of victory. The other one's a card of love. Real love. Not someone who pretends to be in love with you. Real love. You'll be able to feel it right away. It'll feel like victory. Just meeting that person will feel like winning. You just meet someone and you're like, yes. Ooh, I got lucky I met this person. Like that. Two of Swords. So, Two of Cups, Two of Swords. This is a pretty good indication of what Mars in your sign will be like. This is where we glean the positive from what is otherwise seen as just frustrating. You meet someone, you have some connection, you find something you really like, you take this downtime to explore different interests, you start to feel that connectivity with something there, and you get excited. You're like, hey, I feel like I belong. Hey, this is cool. And then the Aquarian mind shuffles in. Oh, hey, hi, remember me? Overthinking and stressing and all the rest of it? I'm still here. Okay, we know you're still here. But during Mars retrograde, you have the ability to say, why are you still here? Why is it that when I think about certain things or certain triggers go off for me, especially when it comes to love and emotional availability, why is this what emerges? Why do we always go here in our minds? I think everybody does it, but you do it way more. Mars retrograde gives you a chance to examine why you act the way you act. Those unconscious things that Aquarians seem to just do. And then someone will say, hey, did you realize how that came out? And you're like, no. What was that? What happened? No, I was just chilling over here. I was trying to be nice. Or You know, I didn't mean it like that. What? Those things. Now, the next 5-6 months, it gives you a chance to really see where the underlines are, where you can just go in and erase. It's not a negative period because all the proofreading's already been done. You're not stubborn enough to not want to right your wrongs. I mean, some people are stubborn enough to just live with their wrongs, but Aquarians are too smart for that. It saves you from your own stubbornness, this need to evolve. Not even the need to evolve, the love of evolution. Now, this Two of Swords highlights it. Two of Cups, Two of Swords. Now you get to see where the proofreading has been done on your emotional life. Where are the underlines? Where are the places you need to go and rephrase or rewrite altogether? Where does the deep reprogramming now need to happen? It needs to happen in terms of connectivity. And it is also the door to all the greater success. The King of Wands I haven't mentioned yet, but it is that Mars energy. It's dominant. It's all over you. And it's fiery. And fire and air, especially, remember we talked about fixed air? Fire and air is just a lot of fire. Fire and air that is retrograding is like that backdraft. You know that pullback before? That's exactly it. You know that terrifying moment that you see in movies where fire acts like a wave and it goes, it sucks itself back, and then that backdraft. That's the name of this reading, backdraft. Now, is a backdraft super negative for the firefighter? Sure. But what if you're the air in the room? Pretty exciting, right? You get to go. You get to not be fixed. Cool. But, so here you are fixed. And here's Mars coming up. First thing, King of Wands. In your sign, like fire, fire, fire. And you're fixed air. And you're like, okay, should we go with it? Should we just go? Just go. Let's go. Let's go with this fire energy and just like be fiery. Let's do it. And you're like doing good things. The month's starting off really good. And you're really feeling like either you're an established something and you're like, yes, this person is amazing. Or you're just like coming across people that you're like, hey, this could really work. And right then, backdraft. The retrograde will come in. It'll set you on fire. It'll get you like going. And then it'll pull back. And you're like, okay, that's a joke, right? Because like things haven't been all that great. So this is all I need, right? Queen of Cups in reverse. Ooh, it's time to empty those cups. Emotional cleansing, Mars style. Emotional programming, Mars style. Jeez Louise. That's so heavy. And you can handle it. It's part of the good thing about being stubborn is it makes you resilient. You know, well, I don't know. Yeah, resilient in your own way because you didn't let it affect you enough to break you at all. You'll be fine. And it's kind of good to have the Queen of Cups in reverse when you've got the Two of Cups there. Empty the cups. Let it all out. Anyone who's really going to want to be your business partner, love you, be friends with you, they want to see you empty your cups. They're okay with it. They're fine with it. They'll deal with it. It's a moment of vulnerability for you. You get to show how you are, and maybe in showing how you are, you get to actually see how you are. I'm like that. No judgment. All air signs are like that. I don't even know what I'm feeling until I say it out loud, and then I'm like, damn, that's how I'm feeling? Wow, I didn't even know. I'm over here thinking like, I'm fine, you know? There's a Angelina Jolie quote where she says, I don't believe in crying anymore, I don't cry. I think it's like pointless, but then, you know, over nothing, I'll just be sitting there crying into my cereal. And I'm like, girl. Queen of Wands. Fire, fire, fire. If you are dealing with fire signs, very prominent, kind of flanking you, really into you, really, really liking you right now. And they're going to add more fire, remember, to what's already going on with you. The Death card. Super cool rebirth, like Phoenix rebirth, okay? Aleister Crowley, not that he's anything to go off of here. I understand how scandalous he is, and to use him as a reference is, you know, distasteful, but still, okay. He did have some pretty profound knowledge. He has been quoted as saying that Aquarius and Scorpio are in a lot of ways the same sign, and that Aquarius is actually the exalted form of the Scorpio. So this Death card, it's fantastic for you because it is that Scorpio energy pulsing with the same, it resonates the same for you, you know? The fiery rebirth. So add their fire to the fire you've got in your chart right now, and then add the retrograde to all of that, especially if you're dealing with an Aries. And that just sounds like a headache. That's what the Two of Swords looks like, a headache. And it's not something you really need to address like that. Like this is something that you should be able to like talk to people about and be like, yo, okay, so there's these like really gnarly planetary alignments right now that are making things very frustrating for me. And you're frustrating me. So how about we just, you know, talk a little less? Or how about you just text me a little less because you're getting on my nerves. Doesn't have to be a big deal. If you wait too long to be honest with people like that, then they're going to start, you know, really taking it personal when you just stop answering them because they've just gotten on your nerves so much that now you're just like, forget it. I'm not even going to explain myself now. I'm out. Now, if you are in a bit of a dilemma because the person, Two of Cups, that you are interested in, Aquarius, is feeling really bad. Queen of Cups, so a water sign or a fire sign that's feeling really bad because of something you've done. And they feel like you've betrayed them or you've been, you know, really harsh with them in some way. The Death card then looks a lot like karmic rebalancing. So the Mars retrograde is also positive for you because your karma will come back to you, but it will come back to you in really teachable ways, which I think is funny because then it's not even like punishment for Aquarius, it's just learning. And that's really what karma is, even when it feels like punishment. It's just another thing that you obviously had to learn because if you did what you did, and that makes it obvious that you need to learn this, you know. There's a story that my dad likes to tell about Solomon, Prophet Solomon, about how he was like at a watering well or something, and he saw what he thought was an extremely unattractive woman. He's famed to have been very beautiful and had like, you know, thousands of beautiful wives that he brought from everywhere, whatever kind of, excuse me, crazed misogyny was going on there. So he sees this woman and he thinks to himself, oh my, or oh Lord, you know, oh God, how awful. Could anyone actually be married to her? Imagine somebody has to be married to her. And at this point in the story, my dad always like pauses, you know, just for like effect, like, you know, like let's just establish before I told you what happens next. Let's just establish that that's fucked up. You know, we all go, yeah, okay, that's fucked up, you know. And then he says, well, and then, you know, his punishment or his like karma was that he had to marry that woman. So what I've always gotten from that, and I think the reason my dad tells that story when he tells it, you know, it's contextual, like he tells it at certain times so you can tell what he's trying to say. Like, what kind of shade are you exactly trying to throw with religion right now, Dad? It's usually a lesson in humility, and it's usually when one of his kids are being arrogant, which I think always strikes both my parents as like really just abhorrent. When any of their children are arrogant, they're just like, That's gross. Please stop. But like, why do we all do it? I don't know. It's such a huge sin too. It's like it's supposed to be the thing that God hates most is arrogance, because it opens the door to every other, disobedience or disrespect. Anyway, so I say that to say, if you are the one who has in some way been hurting other people, or you know that you haven't been necessarily the most honest, or you've been harboring some sort of a Solomon-like, thinking there, oh, and that's where it froze. Gotcha. Okay. So if you've been harboring some kind of strange, and yet completely understandable, like, oh God, I'm glad I'm not that person thing, there are some lessons in humility being taught this month that will lead to greater rebirth. Let's take a look at these cards. You can see what I mean. The Death card making it real obvious here. Fire, fire. Overturned water. That's steam. Water, water. Steam. Water. Lots of fire, lots of water. And then, not even really earth. Lots of fire, lots of water, more water. Scorpio card. So first thing, you're not feeling very grounded. Mars is just like, right? Not feeling very grounded, very light on the feet. Perhaps even a sense of like artificial elation, but don't worry, go with it. You need it. Love enters the picture, whether you're reimagining what's already happening with someone or you've completely moved forward from something in such a good way that you meet somebody new. When that happens and your fear mechanisms, your programming, your emotional gunk starts to take hold, it will be, this is what I was talking about with June being these series of teachable moments, it will be a really teachable moment for you because it will make you pour out everything that you've been holding in for, if we were talking about a Capricorn, I'd be like, what you've been holding in for the past like year and a half, the last fiscal year, right? But for you guys, like, I don't know what you've been holding in forever, because I don't know, when was the last time Mars was in your sign for 6 months, 5-6 months, and going retrograde? Maybe in your lifetime, never. So let me impress upon you how important that is and how important this is for you. It's so important that I'm sincerely being nice to you. You see that? Because you need it. You don't always need it. You're sharp, you're strong, you're tough. You don't always need me to be nice to you. You just need me to tell you what's going on. But I'm being nice to you so I can actually get through the stubbornness that is you, and perhaps some of you who already feel some type of way about me, because I need you to understand how important this is. And anything that we have between us personally shouldn't get in the way of that. It's a very air sign conclusion, very air sign compromise to come to, right? You may still be a little upset with me or really not be feeling me. That's not the point. The point is the stuff that's coming up here has never happened to you before, and it will not happen again, not for a very long time. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that whenever this is happening for you, it's very pivotal, which means what? It means that this part of your life, the next half year, the next 6 months of your life are pivotal for everything that happens later, but also as a way to redefine and organize what has happened before. What I referred to this as in the Sag reading, I think it is, was it being like cosmic NLP. So one of the things in neurolinguistic programming that you can do, which is really, really powerful and super helpful, and I'll go into it in detail in the book, and there'll be an exercise that you can do with the audiobook version, is you go and revisit your past places, your past moments that you can't get out of your head. When you have a moment in your head you can't get rid of, if it's a memory from childhood, doesn't matter, whatever it is, it's because your brain's still trying to figure out why. Your brain is a computer that likes answers. So if something doesn't have an answer, it's just going to keep pushing at it and pushing at it until it finds an answer. And so it like kind of is inflamed in that one space because the neural pathway is just being used and used and used and used because the brain's just passing over it over and over again, going, why? Give me a reason, give me a reason. And if you can't find a reason, over time, that inflamed, overused pathway becomes, a real issue. And your mind just goes to it as soon as you become happy about something or feeling successful about something. Your mind finds that spot that it still can't figure out, but it knows it has something to do with you not being good enough or you somehow falling short, and that's why that happens. That's the best thing the brain could come up with. The brain's pretty sure that that's not it, but it is the thing that most of us kind of cover or bandage over trauma with, right? Whether that's trauma that you inflicted on yourself, whether it's trauma from childhood, whether it's trauma from a relationship, it doesn't really matter. It's that pathway has been so used and overused and so inflamed that it is the natural go-to whenever any sort of excitement comes in, because excitement can also mirror stress, right? So the body's like, uh-oh, okay, let's go here. It's you, it's your fault. No, that's not going to work out. No, that's not even going to, no. This city's a cesspool. I'm never going to meet anybody, right? Now you get a chance. The way NLP works is you go back to those moments that you can't seem to get rid of, and you imagine them in great detail, and you freeze the moment, and you go to every person involved, including yourself, in whatever time period that was. If that's childhood you or whatever, you see it the way exactly it was. You freeze it in time. You go to every single person in that frozen scene, and you have a one-on-one with them. Listen, now from this perspective, at this age, I can see why you did and said what you did. That kid over there doesn't. But I understand as an adult looking in on this now, I have sympathy for you because I can see how as an adult you must have been going through this and this and this and this, and you really didn't mean to say what you said to me that way because you were also like thinking about the fact that, I don't know, you just lost your job and rent was due, or your parent had just died and I was trying to, argue about an outfit that I wanted you to buy me, whatever. And then you go to yourself. You go to all the people involved in the scene, and then you also go to yourself, and you have that one-on-one with yourself. Listen, this is me. This is you, all grown up. You're going to make it. You're going to get this far. It's going to be dope. We're going to do this and this and this and this. And this thing that right now seems like the most awful thing ever, one, we're going to get through it. Two, if you look at it from her perspective and his perspective, this is what's going on in their adult brains. They didn't even mean to have it be about you. You see, you do this. You go to every person in the scene and you do this. And what you'll notice is the next time your brain, on habit, tries to bring that up again, it won't be able to in the same way because the brain has made sense of it and doesn't pass over it in the same way. And soon that old neural pathway will change because it's not being used. The brain is plastic. Neuroplasticity is a real thing. Anything that isn't being used gets converted to something that will be used or is needed. So in that way, and that's a very, very powerful technique. I know that it's very simple the way I explained it, but that's because it is that simple. So don't let the simplicity of it fool you. All the things in your life that will ever really work are simple. I know that's weird to you guys because you like the complex, you like taking it apart, but don't kid yourselves. What you do is you take complex things and break them down into simple things that are way more complex. You know that. So, cosmic NLP, what do I mean? I mean that Mars is going to do what I just explained to you. Mars is going to do that with you. It's going to take you back through things, and it's going to take you into the future as well. It's going to show you what is in store for you, and it's super positive. And it's also going to show you from this third-party perspective on yourself, you see? On your past, on your future, on your present, it's going to show you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and it's going to reason with you. Now, Mars isn't known for its reasoning, so it may bully you a little. It may get really emotional. You may feel kind of battered down by the lessons and by the NLP, the cosmic NLP talk some days in the next coming month. And that's why it's important to look to the death card there. That Scorpio resilience, beauty, magnetism, it all comes from rebirth. You know why they're so attractive? It's because they die and are born again all the time. You can see it in their eyes. They're mystical. And they all have those really bird-like features. Phoenix. And now we need that energy. You may have many mini-death moments. Isn't an orgasm in French called a mini-death? I think so. You may have many orgasmic mini-death. Look into the past. Let the cup spill. So there's only 2 left. Yay! Moments. You know what this also means? Without getting too much in your business? Are we going to let go of the past or no? Because you got so much positivity. Are we really looking back? But you are. And I think whatever you're looking back at now, this month the universe isn't having it anymore. I think the universe is fitting to clear all that out. You turn around at the end of June, those 3 cups won't be there for you to even stare at longingly. I'm telling you. And by the time Mars is done with you, that 5 of Cups is like, you hang on to that and you are asking for a fight. Because we've seen that card a lot. Aha! You know what it is? It's the 10 of Cups upright. You want to trade in half, less than half of what you could have for all that? Because that's what you stand to gain, Aquarius, this month. Leaving, I don't even know what to call this anymore. It's not even yuck. It's not even gross. It's not even your ex. It's not even, it's like, it's the weird, like, ugh. I don't know. It's like when all those ants get balled up together, like, it's just a weird amalgamation of all the gunk now. You not being able to let stuff go, but also just being like kind of insecure and flighty, and so this thing is like established even though it's gross and spilled, but you're just gonna hang on to it. Maybe a little low self-esteem from how the years have gone. Past few years have been, you know, tough to say the least. But now you get to trade in all that for something really, really great. And a lot of you may be thinking, well, can it be with the same person that this was with? You tell me. This is somebody new. This is somebody watery. Probably a Scorpio. And they're serious about it. This came up for Capricorns too, like this. These water signs are out here. Remember how a few months ago the earth signs were in everybody's reading? Because they were like, like macking on everybody? The water signs right now are doing the same. But they're out here not even trying to mac. They're trying to get like hitched. They're serious about it. Which is awesome. It's good for you. You see what it requires though? You see this, right? You see the back and forth that's happening. I feel like for you guys, you know what Mars is going to be like? I feel like it's going to be like the teacups. You know how some people love the teacups and they're like maniacal and they laugh and they go crazy, and then some people like 2 seconds on a teacup and they start throwing up? That's how it's going to be. So you guys need to get some Dramamine, put some plugs in your ears, keep your equilibrium right, because this back forth to the side, spin around like, what, huh, what? The Aquarius soul is like, I'm fixed. You can't do this. What is this teacup nonsense? I've never understood why those things, what is the point of a ride that all it does is give you whiplash and swing you around so hard you want to throw up and like punch the person next to you in the face for making you come on there? I have never gotten off the teacups in a good mood. I always come off the teacups raging mad. Like, what kind of bullshit ride was that? Of course, I always end up going back on it because it looks fun as hell when you're not on it. It's only when you're on it that you're like, this sucks. Why did I do this? My head is hitting the sides over here. I don't even know, like, my neck hurts. So, woo! Aquarius, if you are dealing with a Pisces, yum. They're all about, I'm telling you, these water signs are out here. A Pisces or a Cancer. All you got to do is move forward. Yes, move forward because so much is yet to be revealed. So much is yet to be said. Yet to be shown to you. You don't even know yet. Most of these cups are hidden. You don't even know yet how good it's going to be. If you're here right now, trust me, first of all, this doesn't last forever for anybody, ever. Yeah, but it's been a few years. Okay, 3. As long as you've been holding on to those cups, maybe. Let it go. Yeah, because what's coming in, for real, is way, way better. Yeah, but can it get any better? Because, you know, idiosyncrasies, and that's what I like, and no two people are alike, and it was that person that I really loved, and it was him, it was her. No, it wasn't. It's just a connection. And I say just because there's another one right around the corner. It's just a connection. So make a new connection. You know? What, the world ends because one person? Like, come on. Or one job or one friend? No. The pendulum swings too much in both directions with you guys emotionally because you don't let anything out. Then everything becomes either a big deal or it means nothing at all. Neither one is healthy. I'm not saying treat this like nothing at all, but you want to treat this like it happened yesterday. I'm not saying that this should be a really big deal, but I mean, isn't it? Unless this is what you're planning to do with it. Look at this. I'm so glad you guys are looking at the cards when I pull this. So the 10 of Swords, bottom of the deck here, 10 of Swords, and the Cancer card. So now we have all the water signs out. And what are they doing? Aggressively speeding towards it. Speeding towards you. Also, Capricorn, Taurus, Earth signs, Virgo. After the retrograde starts to take hold and starts to like muck it up, after that, you can meet someone who can bring you into a wonderful space and really love you. Or you can venture into a space. I take it back about the Cancers because it's very specific that like the other two water signs are jamming, but the Cancer's not working. So take heed there. If you're sensing dishonesty on the part of this person already, back up. Back up because the world would love to give you even more, even better prospects that will ground you. After you do your work and let go of the things you need to let go of, there will be a grounding influence coming into your life. Now, as road signs, what are these major arcana saying? There's so many of them. This is our, basically we'll do this for the extended. We'll take each one of these and clarify them. We'll take all the majors and clarify them. But it is about going internal and trusting the seasons and trusting time and trusting when things will bloom and understanding there will be enormous amounts of vacillation. If you would like to pursue something. And that's triggering because of what's already happened, right? But that's exactly why you need this retrograde, to get rid of what's happened before so you don't carry it into your present or into your future. Yeah. It's a lot of waiting around and then making big decisions. Waiting around and then big decisions. So 3 of Wands, moving away from the King of Pentacles, that material hold, just keeps coming up in reverse. It doesn't matter how many times I turn it right side up. And then the air sign being very aggressive. Fire and water, I say yes, just be careful with the Cancer. But earth is just I'm not sure what's going on with Earth. I don't know if it's dishonesty on their parts or it's just combative. But it will bring out, you know, that like warrior thing in you. This is often a card, I mean, obviously it's an air sign card, but it's often a card I associate specifically with you guys. There is a righteous indignation to it. Yeah. So we'll look at it more in the extended because it's saying a lot. All right. I do love you, Aquarius. I do. It's just, you know, I'm weird. That's all. So what? You're weird. The extended will be below. You can find it on my website. It's available for instant streaming or download, so you don't have to watch it with Wi-Fi later. Or you can visit the Shopify link. Same stuff, except with Shopify, you have to wait until I send you the link. And I'll put like Instagram and everything below, so that's cool. If you have a venue in Miami, DC, Denver, Seattle, LA, Chicago, and you would like to host the revolution and host a satsang, let me know. I'll leave the email address below. It'll be venue@amberkhan.com. And we can communicate about that. The book tour starts in August, inshallah. So that should be great. Okay, Aquarius, we'll do bottom of the deck. We'll take the major and clarify them and see what we can come up with. I love you guys. I will see you in the extended, and I'll see you in July.